Hi, I'm Laurie Marie Muniz Jaimes.
And I'm Andrew Hymas.
I went to the doctor in February. I have a history of not having good experiences with doctors. So it took me a minute to find a doctor that I could trust. And she was wonderful. She was very gentle, very sweet, very understanding, understood that I had some not very good experiences with doctors. And she just told me that she said I had HPV, and that there was nothing that I could do at this time, that my body was going to fight it. And so I
Yeah, but
said,
she said all the tests
but
checked
all the
out.
tests checked out fine, that there was nothing alarming. And I've heard this before, so I figured, okay, my body's fighting it. Okay. I was experiencing some hip pain, which can happen for for women my age. So, again, blaming perimenopause with possible arthritis. Arthritis runs in my family. I just, I think what was hard is that the previous doctor who had told me about this being diagnosed wasn't very clear of some stuff. But other doctors kept saying I was clear. Like everything was always clean panel. Like everything was, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. So didn't really learn to advocate for myself. So like a month later goes by and I noticed that I was getting more hip pain, more spotting, having to use the restroom a lot more. Like when I was teaching, I was like, my bladder wasn't holding as strong. Very similar symptoms to entering perimenopause. So of course, people kept just focusing on that. Called her again a month later and kind of told her I was concerned that wasn't getting any better. Even asked her,
It's getting worse.
it was getting worse. Even asked her if it was safe for me to be intimate with my husband because it didn't feel safe. She said, yeah, of course. It just didn't seem safe. Went back again in May, and she kind of just said, okay, well, you want to see another doctor? And I said, yeah, it's getting worse. My hip pain has really gotten to a point where I was not sleeping at night. I had to sleep with heating pads. At this time, I started taking Tylenol. I'm not one to take medication, and I just kept saying, no, I don't want to take it. I'm a dancer, so things that could normally do, I could not do. I had the mobility in my hips were weakening, like they were loose. I started losing weight around May. I started losing muscle mass and started looking wrinkly, like my skin was like I was 80 very quickly. She was supposed to give me a doctor's appointment and she didn't. And then I had shows. So I was like, okay, I guess we'll go again later. Let me get these shows over with. You know, I was not putting my health first. I tend to always work, and finish the job. And then, through all that, I created a show, Fringe Festival. We won awards, and I was doing some wonderful things. And at that time, we were also losing my grandparents' house. My mom got sick very bad at this time. May and June was just a blur for me. It was just, I was starting to heavy bleed more. I had to stop work in July because I started clotting very badly
We both did.
to the point where,
Not clotting, but
yeah,
so I had to stop working as well.
2023 was the year of I like to look at it as my body was shedding what it didn't need, and it was talking to me. So July came, and it literally was talking to me. Finally found a doctor
But I mean,
that she was like, you need to see this woman, and we will figure this out.
well, the thing is because the doctor never gave us, what do they call it?
A referral.
A referral to see a specialist. We just started. The pain was to the point where we knew it wasn't what they were saying, right? We knew it was something else. And we went to the emergency room a couple times, and both times they ran tests, and she didn't want to go because the tests were painful at this point, right? It was very painful for her at this point. So we were hesitant, but the pain was enough that let's just go because we got to handle this. And they would run the test, do the blood work, and same thing every time. Give her hormone pills. You're fine. This is just
Hormones.
hormones. You take this and you'll be fine. But she knew that wasn't correct. We both knew that wasn't correct, and so she never took them. And so it was a lot of that, and a lot of us just up late, and it was pretty heavy. But
Yeah, I was pretty. Now that I think about it, I couldn't sit like this. I couldn't sit.
she couldn't sit up.
It got to the point that driving would hurt. I couldn't wear my dance clothes because I would be overheating because it would be so painful to have anything within my hip or pelvic area. I couldn't sit.
And you were very bloated.
I was super skinny and very bloated. I looked like I was 2 or 3 months pregnant. It was just this weird, like, you could see it in the dance photos, and you could see the muscle like hanging. And the only thing that was keeping me, I feel, active is my acupuncturist. Like, she was giving me everything I needed to stay pretty much moving.
Yeah.
I am anemic, so my hemoglobin was fine because she was putting things in me to keep me strong. And I think she was preparing my body. She noticed something, but she couldn't say. She just said, I'm worried, but I'm not worried. You know, because when she would do things, there was things that were hurting me that shouldn't have been hurting. I think we finally got blessed with a woman that she was like, go to ER.
Yeah, she was getting ready to give the test.
She couldn't do it anymore. I was bleeding way too much for her, where it was dangerous.
Wow. Okay. So you went to another doctor, and then they were going to run tests, and they realized they couldn't because you were bleeding so much.
Yeah, we went to multiple doctors.
Go to the emergency room.
She
Yeah.
sent me to ER.
No, sent to the ER, and that's when they wanted to give you hormone pills again.
Yeah, they weren't going to do the test. I heard them. They said, 48, HPV, she's fighting it. Send her home with hormone pills. And they weren't going to check me. And I told him, you know what? They need to check me so they know how much I'm bleeding. Because I got to the point where I was clotting as if I had a miscarriage. That's how bad it was. I don't want to go into details, but it was bad. And not every day, but it was enough for me to say this is not normal. I didn't take the hormone pills because it sounded like a problem on top of a problem.
Well, that's when she told us to go see Dr.
Oncologist.
Dr. Lynn.
Yeah.
And he wasn't in our insurance, so we just paid out of pocket for that. But he
knew right away.
He was really good. He went and he saw her, and he said immediately, this is cancer, and we need to run some more tests.
How did you feel?
I was quiet. I kind of was okay. When I got in the car, I cried, but when I looked at him, I just said, okay. There's nothing, because it wasn't confirmed cancer, I just kind of was like, okay. I'm not going to cry about it until I know.
Sure.
But he He was good. I'm grateful for him. He wasn't my main doctor, but it's interesting how God works because he put me in hands of people that I was calling in. Like, I needed someone who was going to be tender and gentle and understanding. I needed to be surrounded by women. I also needed to be around people of color because there was a trust issue happening with me with the doctors.